overwhelming rapture verse in the scriptures regarding you and I. Are you ready? It comes from Jesus himself. Jesus is the first one to tell us about the rapture. I'm going to ask you to put these puzzle pieces together. Number one, Jesus in John 14, verse 1. Jesus said to his disciples just before he returned in the great ascension of Christ back to heaven, he said, "Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions, and if it were not so, I would tell you, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, that where I am, and if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may be also." So let's march through this for a second. Jesus said, don't let your heart experience seismos. Don't have an earthquake of worry and of fear. Why? Because if you believe in God, believe also in me. That's the gospel. In my Father's house are many mansions. We'll talk about what that means in other forthcoming podcasts about mansions. What are these dwelling places? Well, whatever it entails, Jesus said, if it were not so, I would have told you. I'm not kidding. I'm not fooling around. Jesus is saying this is incredibly, happily, profoundly serious. But the awesome thing is that Jesus makes it very clear, I got to go prepare. I'm going to come back, grab you, and take you to where I have been preparing. So friends, listen, if you believe in a post-tribulation rapture view, as I used to, that makes it really tough. Because in a post-rapture view, at the end of the tribulation period, you've got the church going up into the atmosphere, meeting Jesus, and coming back down to establish the kingdom. How in the world do you ever get John 14 fulfilled if that's the truth? It doesn't work.
Will the rapture ever happen? You guys have been talking about this forever. You know, Grandpa told you 30 years ago, the rapture is going to happen. It's going to happen any day. And what happens is people have heard that for so long that now they're like, I don't think it's ever going to happen. It'll happen in 100 years. I've been looking for the rapture for 40 years. And I have to tell you, all the signs are drastically different today than they were 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 10 years ago. So what happens is people look at the signs and they take them separately and they say, well, that's always happened. But the thing about the signs of the end times and the rapture of the church is you've got to look at the signs collectively. Have they converged? Are they all happening simultaneously? And that's what we're seeing today. That's what we're seeing today. And that's why it's different today.